and they win the NFC South.
What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. Bucs, Lions in Detroit, 7 o'clock, Monday Night Football. Two of the best teams in the NFC, if not the best two. We get to sit back in our chairs, turn on our TV, and just enjoy it. Also, it's a bit of a weekend for Tampa Bay and Detroit. Lightning play the Red Wings tonight. So from Friday to Monday, these two cities got a little thing going on right now. So let's go ahead and get into this game, break it down. The line currently is at 5.5. Some very weird movements, in my opinion. Opened at 4.5. Brian Branch gets suspended for the game. It goes up to 5.5 in the Lions' favor. Mike Evans is practicing for the first time. It goes up to 6 in the Lions' favor, and now it is back at 5. And just weird movements. All right, and here is our injury report, which this might be the first game going into it where we have, honestly, a good amount of positive news. League-wide, it's still towards the bottom, but at least we're getting positive news. I got to take some sort of positivity. Mike Evans, like I said, practiced yesterday, was a limited participant. Today he did not practice. I don't think that affects anything. I think this is just a Friday. Give him the day off, let him rest again. Saturday, tomorrow, is really what will determine what occurs with Mike Evans. Also, very promising. Zion McCollum, full participant yesterday and today. Benjamin Morrison, full participant yesterday and today. So the Bucs might be getting a major boost to their secondary, getting cornerback 1 back, and Benjamin Morrison's second-round pick, who's looked very good when he has been on the field, might be getting a big boost to the secondary. On the line side of things, also some very key things to look at. Kirby Joseph, who has been dealing with this knee injury, did not practice yesterday, did not practice today. Tomorrow will be a big day for that. Avonte Maddox, same thing there. Terrion Arnold was a limited participant today. I wouldn't expect him to go, but he is making progress at least. Same with Taylor Decker, limited participant yesterday and today. That's their left tackle. Would be a big boost for the Bucs if he is not able to go, but looks like there may be potential of him coming back. Everyone else I do expect to play. Obviously, Aleem McNeil is the major one for the Detroit Lions. Very good defensive tackle, making his debut in the 2025 season for the Detroit Lions. That's big for their front. All right, some interesting notes about this game before we get into the actual matchups of the offense versus defense. The Detroit Lions have not lost back-to-back games since 2022. Here's this year. Here's last year where they had that crazy record. Obviously nothing there. 2023, never lost a back-to-back game. So you got to go all the way back to 2022, which is crazy. The last time the Detroit Lions have lost back-to-back games. And you know the way they went out against the Chiefs clearly did not. The game plan seemed to get away from them a little bit. Weren't really getting David Montgomery enough carries. I think Amon-Ra, averaged 5 yards per catch. Just not really getting into the groove that they're going to be looking to get this thing turned around 7 o'clock in Detroit. They are going to be hungry. They are going to be inspired, ready to go. Once again, a team that has not lost back-to-back games since 2022. Bucs looking to break that trend. A team that every week continues to play this underdog role despite the fact that they keep winning. Just the fact that people continue to doubt them with the injuries that they have. Half your offensive line, no Bucky Irving. Wide receiver room is in shambles. People continue to doubt, and the Bucs continue to instill this next man up mentality, and it's worked for them very well. And building on what I'm talking about with that next man up mentality, I have this tweet here. So from Greg Auman, the Bucs have had 5 different starters at guard, 4 different starters at tackle in only 6 games, 2 centers as well. Still, only 10 sacks allowed by this offensive line. On course for 28, which is down from 40 last season. Obviously, last season there were some injuries here and there with Gadecki and then worse, but nothing like this. Nothing like where your center had to play left tackle, your left guard had to play center, and that's impressive. And you can just see what this team is doing with that next man up mentality. Baker leading the way, obviously, with that fire, and Todd Bowles just keeping the group together, keeping the group motivated, and putting his trust in them. I don't care who's out there. We built this culture. Continue to just give it your all, and the results, can't deny them. All right, so let's jump into it, though. Bucs offense versus Detroit Lions defense. Obviously some big names on that defense, but also a defense that is missing some names, definitely in the secondary. First step when playing the Detroit Lions defense, obviously, is going to attempt to stop this guy, Aiden Hutchinson, who wreaked havoc on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 2 of last year. In the same situation, the Buccaneers last year did not have Luke Gedeke playing right tackle due to that long concussion, if you guys remember that last year. And we had Justin Skule playing right tackle for Luke Gedeke. Aiden Hutchinson lined up on him damn near all game and obviously ended the game with 4.5 sacks. It was ugly. It was bad. But one thing we can take away from that is that most of that 4.5 came in the first quarter. Most definitely in the first half. As the game went on, the Bucs found ways to limit him, whether it be using a tight end, using a running back, whatever it may be. And our current offensive coordinator, obviously Josh Grizzard, was a part of that offensive staff with Liam Cohen, so he is able to go back to that and look at that formula, look at what they did, and use it in Monday's game, where it began to get better as the game went on. Charlie Heck is going to need help. He's coming off his best game so far as a starter against the 49ers. Got to give him that credit, but at the end of the day, it's Aiden Hutchinson. It's Charlie Heck. Come on. He's going to need help. I mentioned it in my episode of the Ops, but Aiden Hutchinson used to always just line up against the right tackle, but this year they've kind of been moving him back and forth. I expect him to primarily just line up against the right tackle. Let me put it this way. If you're the Bucs, where would you want Aiden Hutchinson to line up? Yes, me too. Tristan Wirfs. Let's just have best on best. That's the best way to limit that guy. So if you're Detroit, why would you not put him up against the backup right tackle who's ranked 72nd out of 76 qualifying tackles in the NFL this season? He's going to line up, if I had to guess, 85% of the time on Charlie Heck, despite how much they've been moving him back and forth so far this season. They're not going to give the Bucs what they want offensively, which is Wirfs and Hutchinson. They're going to put him on the backup. Because on top of that, if you look even inside, Ben Bredesen, that is a quality starting left guard. If you go over to the Bucs at right guard, that is a backup right guard with Cody Mauch being out for the season, and Haggard is going to be questionable for this game. So it might even be the backup's backup. If you're the Buccaneers, you want Hutchinson over here. If you're the Lions, I'm not going to give the Bucs what they want. I'm going to put him on Charlie Heck and potentially the backup of the backup's right guard, where he can either go outside or stunt inside on these backup players. The Bucs did get some decent news with Michael Jordan, the guard who started at left guard this season with all of the injuries and movements. He actually played pretty well playing left guard, so if he's able to go, they might put him at right guard. I think he's a better player overall than Haggard, so we might get it actually an improvement. But if Michael Jordan's not able to go, if Haggard's not able to go, you're looking at Elijah Klein, who I have hope for the guy. He's still young, still a lot of development needed there. A lot of what the Bucs are going to do offensively, of course, depends on if number 13 plays. I think currently, how things are looking, how things sound, barring any setbacks, he's going to play Monday night. That's just how I'm gathering things. Barring any setbacks, I think Mike Evans will play on Sunday. It looks like Pro Football Focus is projecting Mike Evans to play on Monday, and they got him in the lineup. So let's project it that way. If Mike Evans plays, I think the game plan doesn't change as much as you may think. I think it's still a lot of quick passing. I think it's still a lot of screens to running backs, maybe even tight ends. Just moving the Detroit Lions defense laterally, which the Chiefs did a fantastic job of. I think Anzalone struggled a little bit in that game, and just the way they were able to just play through that line of scrimmage, sideline to sideline, use as much space as possible on the field. That was it. That showed a good formula of how to attack this Lions defense, and we're getting that Lions defense without Brian Branch, and I don't know if he's playing or not, but Kirby Joseph has not played or practiced yesterday or today. So use the whole field, screen game, quick passing game. You got Sterling Shepard, you got Cam Johnson, Tez Johnson. Don't be scared to take some shots deep on these backups. Mike Evans, obviously, don't be scared. There's every single one of these guys in this secondary, from Amik Robertson. I believe he's their starting nickel. He's had to bounce outside due to injuries. Rock Yassin, bro, throw the ball up. None of those balls are 50-50. One spot where I will give the Lions the benefit of the doubt is in the run game. So far this year, like I said, they haven't had Lee McNeil, who is a very good defensive tackle. And they're 4th in rush defense efficiency. Now you add that to what's already been a top 5 run defense so far this season. The Bucs have struggled to run the ball consistently this year. I think they had a pretty good game in Houston. They've had good moments, but just to consistently be able to lean on the run, I don't think it's really happened so far this season outside of Houston. So that's one spot where, like I said, expect a lot of quick passing game to sort of separate that run game, or be an extension of that run game. Let's go ahead and flip this, though, and go Bucs defense versus Lions offense. This is what I'm most excited for, if I'm being honest. Like, as fun as Baker Mayfield's been, just someone who really tries to pay a ton of attention, how Todd Bowles is going to match up against this offense is always an exciting task. Before I even go into it, guys, we do see the ranking on Jamel Dean, right? I said it in my film session, like, I am not overreacting when I say he's been one of the best corners in the NFL this year. It's what a crazy turnaround. Regardless, how Todd Bowles is going to attack this offense. Obviously, their offense, it all starts with the run. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. If you're able to stop that, limit that, it takes them out of their element. Am I saying if you stop that, you stop their entire offense? No. Jared Goff can still throw the ball. They still got Laporta. They still got St. Brown. They still got J-Mo. They still got plenty of weapons, but it all starts with that run game. And if you take out of their element, it makes things a little bit more uncomfortable. It's not the game that they want to play. Still to be determined what occurs at left tackle. If Taylor Decker's not able to go, you're looking at the backup in Dan Skipper. But you look at the inside of that offensive line. It's young. Mahogany's a 6th-round pick from last year. Ratledge is a 3rd or 2nd-round pick. 2nd-round pick from this year. Obviously, you got Penei Sewell at right tackle. That's lockdown, shutdown the same way Tristan Wirfs is. But the interior there is young. And obviously, on the Bucs end, Vita Vea is going to be going after these young guys. And I think that is a huge win in the Bucs' favor. For a team that's going to be looking to run the ball, I think that's a really big deal. I don't think the Lions have been as good running the football this year as they were in 2023 and 2024 when you had like Ragnow in there and guys like that. I think it's taken a little bit of a dip due to that, and I do like the Bucs' chances with Vita Vea. Even though Kalijah Kancey's out, I think Elijah Roberts has continued to improve in run defense, and I do trust what the Bucs will be able to do in stopping the run and forcing Jared Goff to throw the ball maybe a little bit more than the Detroit Lions would like. Blitzing is up in the air for me. I don't know what Todd Bowles is going to do there. I don't really know what he should do. That's why I don't get paid to do this. But Jared Goff is 4th in the NFL against the blitz. So that's due. Obviously, he's a very efficient quarterback. He gets the ball off quick, and they love attacking the middle of the field. Most of the time when a team blitzes, they're either putting a guy on the line or the guy's coming from the linebacker position. Obviously, there are safety blitzes, cornerback blitzes, but most of the time, they're either putting someone on the line or using a linebacker. For a team that likes to attack the middle of the field, when you move Levante David and try to send a blitz there, what does that open up? Space in the middle of the field, which feeds right into Amon-Ra St. Brown with the crossers, Laporta going up the seam, hook routes in the middle of the field, all of those things. So I think if Todd Bowles blitzes, which he's going to find a way to get some blitzes off, they got to be timely, they got to be creative. I expect Jacob Parrish blitz from nickel. We even saw Jamel Dean blitz last week against the 49ers when the 49ers came out in more of like a bunch formation where everything was more scrunched up and close together, so Jamel Dean wasn't really lined up way out here. It was more towards the middle. Expect Antoine Winfield Jr. Obviously, Bowles loves to blitz him, Tyke Smith. So I think there's ways to get this done with the blitz, but it all, once again, starts with trying to stop the run with Vita, with Yaya, with Reddick, who I think has been good in the run game as well so far this season. That's going to be big. Super exciting matchup. The personnel on these teams, the coaching matchups, quarterback versus quarterback, Goff versus Mayfield, the offensive weapons, the defensive weapons, there's just so much in these two opponents, what they bring to the table. That's why they're two of the best teams in the NFC and two of the best teams in the NFL. And I'm just glad we get to watch it in that 7 o'clock slot. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. This next man up mentality, how can I not have any, I'm supposed to doubt this team after what they've seen, what they've put on the field so far this year with all these close wins, and even last week when Baker Mayfield is throwing to 7th round pick Tez Johnson, undrafted wide receiver Cam Johnson, number 5 on the depth chart veteran receiver Sterling Shepard, Ryan Miller's coming in here and they still find a way to beat the 49ers by 2 scores. How are we not supposed to have faith in this team? I love what they're putting on the field so far this year. This is a huge test in a tough environment, and I have full faith in the guys to get it done. How can you not at this point? So, once again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Go Bucs. Y'all have a blessed one.